Doctor My Eyes, 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Dr. Michael Lange is here to answer your questions about your eyes. This is the time of year where you might want to get some sunglasses. That's probably the lowest thing on the totem pole for the things Dr. Lange deals with. But he's here right now to answer your questions about your eyes. He, of course, is a board-certified optometric physician and certified nutrition specialist. Pay attention to that second part, because that's what a lot of you are interested in, is nutrition. Good morning, doctor.
Thank you, Larry. What an introduction.
And your hair is so light. You got that California boy look.
You know, I was out in the sun for 3 days straight. I was doing a lot of kayaking out in the Gulf, a lot of recumbent biking I'm into now instead of road biking. It's better on the back and the neck.
You got to make sure your kayak does not look like an alligator to another alligator.
Exactly.
Did you see that story the other day? An alligator attacked a kayak, and the Fish and Wildlife guy said, well, he probably thought it was another alligator. I had never heard that before.
It was scary.
And those kayaks are kind of tippy. We found that out very quickly.
Yeah, and corgis, they fly out of the boat quickly.
Yes, they do.
Apparently. Yeah.
Make sure your dog's on
But, you know, the summer is almost here, and you did bring up a valid point about sunglasses. This is one of the easiest steps that everybody can take at practicing prevention, all right, for eye disease, because the sun is detrimental to the eye. The sun, the ultraviolet light, the UV light, and the high-intensity visible spectrum, the HIV light, or the blue light, can damage the eye. It can damage the periorbital region around the eye. It can damage the lens, the cornea, and the retina. So simply by wearing a good pair of sunglasses, Costa Del Mar, Ocean Waves, Ray-Ban, Oakley, Maui Jim, I mean, there's so many different brands you can buy. I recommend investing in a good name brand. Don't buy the, the $1.99 pair that you buy over the counter. It may do more harm than good, because once that UV coating comes off, you put sunglasses on, your brain thinks you're outside at nighttime, your pupils dilate, letting more of the harmful rays of light in.
Oh,
so invest in a good name brand. Certainly go to your local optical, come to any Lange Eye Care location. Remember, we have 10 locations now. Tell them you heard us on the radio, and then you will get 25% off just mentioning they heard us on the radio.
Oh, wow.
Say, per Dr. Lange, 25% off anything because you heard us on the radio. Also, there's a sunglass site you can go to, actually. I might as well plug this. This is, good information for our listeners, expresssunglasses.com. You can get Ray-Bans at incredible deals. You buy one, get one free. You don't get a free Ray-Ban, but you get to pick from a select group where you get a free pair. That's added value and free shipping. So expresssunglasses.com, great place to buy a good pair of sunglasses. So, it's almost summer. Buy a good pair of sunglasses for anybody and everybody in your family, starting at infancy all the way to great-grandmother. And the two most important people are the children that are infants and then your great-grandparents that have had their cataracts removed, because these people do not have human crystalline lens. After you have cataract surgery, human crystalline lens absorbs a lot of the harmful rays of the sun, so it doesn't damage the retina. So it's very crucial after cataract surgery to wear a good pair of sunglasses. I recommend a brown amber color or a rose color, not a gray, green, or blue color, because those colors actually block more of the harmful rays of light. And then when you're a child, an infant, you don't realize you're not supposed to look at the sun.
Right.
So
right.
Your infants in that stroller, you need to put them in the sunglasses at a very, very young age, but a good pair.
Well, you're not talking about Robin's great-great-grandfather. You're talking about her husband. He just had that cataract surgery, so he needs to get those sunglasses, right?
Yeah.
Right, and he's young. A lot of us do get cataracts at a younger age than others, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, number one, living here in Florida, the closer you live to the equator, the more prone you are to develop cataracts, just due to the sunlight. And if you haven't been wearing sunglasses at a very young age, a lot of people were very young, they were lifeguards, they were doing a lot of surfing, they worked on a roof in construction, and they didn't wear sunglasses, where they're paying for it earlier in their life, 40, 50, 60 years of age, developing cataracts. Also, it's a nutritionally related cataract is a nutritionally related entity, because a lot of people that don't get the antioxidants necessary to combat against free radical damage will develop cataracts earlier. If you're diabetic, you'll develop cataracts earlier. If you're overweight, you'll develop cataracts earlier. Because remember, we talked about this, I think, on a show about macular degeneration. When you're overweight, the lutein and the zeaxanthin and the astaxanthin, these are carotenoids that are beneficial for protecting the lens and the retina and your whole body, actually go to the adipose tissue or the fatty tissue instead of going to your eye. So one of the best things in the world is for us all to get down to our ideal body weight, and I preach that all the time. time. Obviously not smoking, because smoking accelerates cataracts as well. And a lot of these things that we're talking about go hand in hand with dry eyes and macular degeneration. So if we develop a diet and a nutritional protocol and a lifestyle modification for cataracts, it's very similar to macular degeneration and dry eyes.
Does dry eye often feel like sand in your eye? Like you can't get a piece of sand out, or eyelash?
Right. Symptoms of dry eyes are eyes that feel sandy, gritty, all right, foreign body sensation, eyes that burn, and then tear. Tearing is one of the first signs of dry eye. If you eye waters a lot and your optometrist or ophthalmologist tells you have dry eyes, you didn't listen to me. I just told you my eyes were watering.
Right.
They have plenty of moisture. But what happens is we have 3 layers of your tear film: an outer lipid layer, an inner mucin layer, and a middle aqueous layer. We become deficient in the outer and inner lubricating properties, and your body tries to compensate for the lack of lubrication by crying more of the watery layer. So not only sandy, gritty, but an eye that tears is oftentimes a sign of a dry eye. It can also be signs of an ocular allergy, an irritation to the eye, an eyelash turning in, rubbing against your cornea, creating reflex tearing. I mean, a lot of things can cause tearing, and I recommend getting into your eye doctor, but oftentimes it's dry eyes. And then, once again, kind of like cataracts, age. The older you get, the drier you get. Any medications that you're taking, diuretics, antihypertensive, antidepressants, all these type of medications can further dry out your system and dry out your eyes. If you're in an environment, when you're in an air-conditioned environment, working on a computer a lot, doing a lot of driving, also further enhances a dry eye. Sleeping under a ceiling fan dries your eyes out. So the simplest thing for dry eye patients is just to put some artificial tears in their eye periodically.
Yeah.
But the problem is the artificial tears you buy over the counter oftentimes are filled with preservatives, and people can have reactions to these preservatives. These preservatives can actually break down the lipid barrier of the tear film, actually aggravating a dry eye. So you want to use preservative-free artificial tears, and there's a few decent brands over the counter. The one I like the best is called Oasis Tears Plus. Oasis Tears Plus is preservative-free. It also has hyaluronic acid in it, which is a natural anti-inflammatory. So it helps last a little bit longer than the ones you buy over the counter. Then once you put a drop in your eye, you squeeze the excess, don't blot it with a tissue, because this is good stuff. Rub it into the periorbital region around your eye. That hyaluronic acid can actually hydrate some of the fine lines and wrinkles around the eye.
Wow.
So hyaluronic acid, or HA, is something that's an ingredient in a lot of over-the-counter skin preparations, SkinCeuticals, Obagi, Oragold, things like that cost a lot of money, and people rub it in their face. So Oasis Tears Plus, get it on our website at fortify.com. Call Fortify Vitamins at 866-503-9746. Go to any Lange Eye Care location and get it, or go to your local eye doctor and see if they have it. You can't buy it over the counter.
So from a lay person's explanation of why this works, the drops work because it takes care of the problem immediately, but the nutritional part takes care of it from the inside out, and that takes a little time, I'm guessing, right?
Right. We want to get instant gratification. We want to get rid of the sandy, gritty, burny, teary, itchy symptoms that you're having, the fluctuation in vision. We want to get rid of that quickly using a good lubricant. If you go to see your doctor, oftentimes they'll prescribe a prescription medication to also help with dry eyes. But bottom line, and me being a certified nutritional specialist, we try to preach this on the show and to my patients, is you got to adjust the diet. You got to take the right supplements for dry eye. It takes 2 to 3 months to totally kick in, but then that's the best way to address this problem. So lifestyle modification is certainly important, but there's 3 big things that will help dry eyes: omega-3, astaxanthin, and gamma-linolic acid. And one of the reasons for this is most of us are deficient in those 3 things. Think about it. How many pieces of fish have you eaten in the last week? Of good fish. How many pieces of wild Alaskan salmon, not farm-raised salmon, have you had? The wild Alaskan salmon is perfect is because it has omega-3 and it has astaxanthin. Both of those have been shown to help eliminate dry eyes or alleviate dry eyes and tired eyes. So omega-3, astaxanthin, or you can take our Fortify Super Omega and our Fortify Focus with the astaxanthin. The third piece of the puzzle is gamma-linolic acid. And we're getting pretty technical here, but GLA, we're deficient as well, because GLA is abundant in a few different things. Blue-green algae. When's the last time you had blue-green algae, right?
I don't know. I had fish yesterday, though. I just
evening primrose, black currant seed oil, or borage oil. These things have gamma-linolic acid, which is the good part of omega-6. Most omega-6, especially arachidonic acid, is bad, stimulates series 2 prostaglandins, which is pro-inflammatory. But GLA, from these specific sources I mentioned, stimulates series 1 prostaglandins, which is an arm of the omega-6 cycle that acts actually anti-inflammatory and helps improve tear production. So there you have it now. Triglyceride form omega-3, like 2 of the fortified super omega,
right.
1 fortified focus, and then take about 160 milligrams of GLA from black currant seed oil. And the reason I say 160 milligrams is because if you take 2 of our fortified super omegas, that's 1,600 milligrams of triglyceride form omega-3, the most bioavailable form for the body. And then I like a 10-to-1 ratio. So 1,600 milligrams of omega-3 to 160 milligrams of GLA. Not many doctors understand this ratio. They're doing just the opposite. But remember, omega-6 is abundant in our diet. We want to skew the ratio dramatically for this to work. And I've been using this for years clinically in our patients with dry eyes, patients post-LASIK surgery, post-cataract surgery that have dry eyes, patients with Sjogren's syndrome, which is a patient that sees the rheumatologist has dry eye and dry mouth. And it works. It works quite well.
You know what I can imagine the listeners doing? You have so many numbers and so many long clinical words for things. Have you made it easy? I mean, if I just go get the fortified vitamins, is that all I really need to do, or do I need to know all that stuff?
Well, this is the easiest thing on the market. Nutrition for dry eyes. I wrote an article a couple of months ago. It's Nutrition for dry eyes. It's on a few different websites, drmichaellange.com, fortifeye.com, I think even langeeyecare.com. You can type Nutrition for dry eyes or proper nutrition for dry eyes into the World Wide Web, and we come up #1 in most of the search engine. But that gives you a step-by-step procedure talking about everything we just talked about in an easier to understand outline.
Well, and also I think that's one of the benefits of having this show recorded, because then you can go back and listen to it and kind of go over it slowly if you wanted to really be able to absorb all of the information. You have a phone call, Doctor. Let's go to the phone. Good morning. You're on the air with Dr. Michael Lange.
Good morning, Dr. Lange.
Morning.
I met a woman in the store the other day, and she was talking to me about distilled water. I know you talk about Saratoga water. And she says that if I drink distilled water, that it's damaging my body. I'm not getting the minerals and the alkaline and all that type of stuff that I need. Is that true? And if I'm drinking distilled water, what do I need to do to enhance it?
Right. The problem with distilled water, most distilled water is stored in these big plastic bottles. And if you flip the plastic bottle over, and the recycled number, the triangle, it has a number 7 in there. And
well, I make my own.
Okay.
I have a distiller.
All right, and then what are you storing it in?
Plastic.
There you go. Go get a big glass jug. Glass is the best thing to store water in. This is the problem I have with distilled water, and it depends on each distillation machine. Check your pH level on your distilled water. I don't know if you've ever done that. Just pour the water on some litmus paper, some pH paper, and see what happens. If that paper turns bright yellow, I would drink it in mild to moderate amounts. I wouldn't guzzle it, all right? Because the thing I like about Saratoga water is spring water. It's in a glass bottle. It has a pH of about 8, all right? When you pour it on a piece of litmus paper, it turns green. Remember, acidity from a beverage can cause you to have some potential issues. I mean, there's studies out there that indicate if you have a very acidic environment in your stomach, you're more prone to develop cancers. But I don't know about that. I mean, there's a lot of research being done on that. But I just find that I feel better when I drink less acidic water, when I drink more alkaline water. And this is one reason I've gotten away from reverse osmosis water. Let me tell you, I mean, I had some issues with some gastric problems, like some heartburn and some indigestion problems for a period there. And I started taking a lot of probiotics and a lot of enzymes. It seemed to help a little bit. Maybe it was the placebo effect. And I got to tell you, I stopped drinking my reverse osmosis water, which is kind of similar to distilled water. They're both very pure sources of water, but they're leached of any minerals, and they're also dealkalized or acidified. And since I stopped doing that, drinking alkaline water, I mean, I feel better. I feel a lot better, and I haven't had to use my digestive enzymes or my probiotics. But also, I started taking Manuka honey about the same time. And I tell you...
you know what? I checked on Manuka honey yesterday, and it was $20 for just a little small jar.
It ain't cheap. That's true.
No,
it's very expensive. But, you know, I take that before each meal now, and it's either that or getting away from reverse osmosis water. One of the two has actually helped me dramatically. So I'm just staying away from RO water right now. Now, remember, everything in moderation. I think if you drink distilled water, you're probably okay in moderation. So if you want to drink a few glasses of that a day, you're okay. I'll have to study that a little bit more. It's the same thing with the reverse osmosis. Those are very pure sources of water. And remember, water is not the source of the minerals. Eat plenty of organically grown fruits and vegetables a day, and you're going to get plenty of minerals from that and vitamins.
Would I be better off to drink my deep well water?
Yeah, I think, try it. Drink a bunch of distilled water for a period of time and then stop drinking that and just drink your well water. What I did recently is I put a UV system on our well, a pre-filter, a UV system, and also I got the softener using potassium, so it helps, make the well water better, because you never know what comes out of the well.
That's true.
There could be some, pathogens in well water, and that's why I put the UV system on it.
That may be what we need to do,
But I feel a lot better since I stopped drinking my reverse osmosis water. And I put a lot of money into putting an RO system in my house. I drink the water coming out of the regular faucet now.
This fill system.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll just stay tuned.
All right, take care.
Yeah, really, that is interesting information right there. I mean, you hear so much about the reverse osmosis being the best way you can go.
Right. I think we all need to drink more water, okay? So if you're drinking reverse osmosis water, it's certainly better than tap water. Distilled water that she's drinking is certainly better than the tap water, because this is a way of purifying things. But like I said, check your water. Check the pH and see where it's at. I personally feel a lot better when I'm not drinking things that are very acidic, and you'll have to see. I mean, each person is different. I don't think drinking that distilled water or reverse osmosis water is really going to create some serious issues, but I think better source of water is maybe just a good well water, artesian well, or spring water.
And do you, I know this is a veering from the eye subject, but do you agree with the doctors, you kind of reference one, not by name, but that alkaline is the way to go to prevent cancer? I mean, do you agree with that theory?
Yeah, I don't know enough about that to really be commenting on it, but I'm starting to see a lot of information, a lot of interesting books, a lot of talk show hosts, a lot of infomercials, a lot of radio shows talking about alkalinity versus acidity. I really got to learn a little bit more about it.
So how do you make your body more alkaline? Is it by eating more alkaline and drinking more alkaline?
Yeah, I mean, one reason our body's so acidic is then again, the omega-6 diet that we're consuming, the garbage, the overly processed foods that we're consuming. I mean, the sodas that we're drinking, the white bread, the white pasta, I mean, the garbage we're putting into our system. So you can alkalize your body strictly through your diet, getting into a paleo type of diet, a hunter-gatherer diet, drinking the right type of fluids, eating a lot of fruits and vegetables organically grown. And one thing that you can do that really helps alkalize your body, take some organic fruits and vegetables. They got to be organic. Start juicing them, and take things like celery, kale, spinach, cucumbers, and ginger, and then only a little bit of apple, and juice them all together in a juice, and drink that down once a day. Right after you juice it, you got to drink it. You can't wait and put it in the refrigerator and save it. You're getting all the live enzymes and everything, and that does help alkalize your body. But we got to eat more fruits and vegetables. A little less protein. You still got to eat the right source of protein, nuts and seeds. And the big thing is to avoid the processed foods that is in every meal of Americans today.
We had a paleo author yesterday, 2 days ago, and she was, among the things that I was wondering about is she said to exclude legumes and grains. What are your thoughts on those two things?
Yeah, well, the legumes, I think the jury's still out for me on that, but the grains, definitely, I would say you got to stay away from grains, and one reason for that is most grains, are genetically modified, GMO, we're talking about wheat, barley, rye, and oats.
Yeah.
And then we might as well throw corn and soy in there because they're genetically modified. I stay away from those 5 things now.
Yeah.
So gluten is a big problem today. Gluten is causing all sorts of digestive problems and intestinal problems. And so, you know, as a rule of thumb, I've adapted a gluten-free diet for myself and my family, and everything in moderation. Every now and then you can have a bowl of spaghetti. But, you know, spaghetti, you can get gluten-free spaghetti, gluten-free bread, gluten-free bagels. Brown rice is a grain that I think is okay. So, yes, absolutely. Most grains I recommend staying away from now, whole grains.
And legumes, the beans and all that?
Yeah, there's certain beans out there that are okay, and there's certain beans, like I said, the jury on my side is still out on that. I mean, good organic brown rice and azuki beans, I think, is still a very complete source of protein. But some people are saying to avoid certain beans and lentils right now. You know, I wouldn't overdo the beans. I mean, you should sit down, have a big thing of broccoli, kale, orange bell peppers, a lean piece of fish or some sardines, and maybe some nuts and seeds, and a big glass of green tea.
We did good yesterday, didn't we, Robin?
Yeah,
That's what we had yesterday.
Yeah.
Except we had it from the Chinese buffet. Is that right?
A little MSG sprinkled in it also. That kind of negates it. Probably wasn't organic. You know, Larry and Rob, it's very difficult to eat healthy.
It is. I mean, where do you find these
things? You
things?
cannot go out and eat healthy today. It's really tough, and that's why our society is in the situation we're in. You got to eat at home, or you got to find a restaurant that
fishing.
you trust that is organic in nature. So eat more at home, and you're going to be healthier. Adjusting that diet is going to help your dry eyes dramatically. And like I said, what are the 3 big things? Omega-3, but triglyceride form omega-3, not ethyl ester omega-3. So the stuff you buy over the counter, the majority of that's out the window. Fortify Super Omega has been helping thousands of people with their dry eyes, 2 a day. Then astaxanthin. You want 6 milligrams of astaxanthin. Whether you get it from Fortify or you get it from another source, you want 6 milligrams of astaxanthin. Fortify Focus is the one I developed. We added a little lutein and zeaxanthin. And then lastly, GLA, or gamma-linolic acid. I haven't developed a product like that, so you got to get it on your own. We do handle at the Lange Nutrition Center or through Fortify Vitamins, one from Douglas Laboratories that has the exact ratio I talked about, the 160 milligrams of GLA. And people can call Fortify Vitamins at 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746. Or go on Fortify.com. That's FORTIFEYE, Fortify.com. Certainly we have all of this available any Lange Eye Care location. You can get this article at Lange Eye Care. We'll send it to you in the mail. But you got to start adjusting your lifestyle and your diet if you want to help combat against, you know, eye disease, heart disease, brain disease, the whole enchilada.
It all works together, doesn't it?
Right.
And now, have you seen anything reversed if a condition is starting, whether it's an eye condition or something else? Have you seen it reversed when you start to change that whole?
Many patients. I've seen many patients macular degeneration improve. I've seen patients with inflammatory conditions in their eye, dry eyes, all sorts of issues improve dramatically. From the things we've talked about and things that we preach about in our clinical practice. So absolutely, I've seen Fortify Vitamins, people that haven't adjusted their diet. They've just gotten on the right regimen of supplements, like the Fortify Macular Defense for macular degeneration. And I've seen many patients improve acuity. I've seen drusen in the retinas start to actually go away. We have photo documentation of before and after pictures when we have adjusted their diet. And, you know, oftentimes we go above and beyond. We do genetic testing at Lange Eye Care. We do intracellular blood analysis where we look at the white blood cells and look for nutritional deficiencies. You know, a simple test like a vitamin D test is so important. So these are 3 types of blood tests we do to help our patients become proactive in their overall health.
And it's good for the listeners to know that you can get that test done at Lange Eye Care.
Right, at any of the Lange Eye Care locations.
That's a question that comes up a lot. How do we know? And that's how you know. You get the test done.
And if you drive to the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages, that's just a hop, skip, and a jump from here. We actually have the blood lab inside the Lange Eye Institute. And remember now, we've got a great retina specialist on our team now, Dr. Shalais Kaushal, MD, PhD. He flies down and he lives up in Boston or up in Massachusetts. He's with us kind of part-time until after the summer. So you can actually set up an appointment to see a nationally recognized retina guru if you have a retina problem, especially diabetic retinopathy, macular degeneration, retinitis pigmentosa, anything like that. Call our main Ocala office at 237-3768. That's 237-3768. 3768 and set up an appointment to see him.
And go to the websites and tell us the website addresses again.
Yeah, there's a couple of websites, LangeEyeCare.com. Remember, Lange is Lange, LangeEyeCare.com, or drmichaellange.com, just DR with no period after it. And remember to check out Fortify.com. I did mention ExpressSunglasses.com for those of you that want to save money and start getting a good pair of sunglasses, that pair of Ray-Ban. Ray-Bans are back in style. They're very hot. So invest in your vision. Get a good pair of sunglasses for yourself, your loved ones.
Get a reverse Mother's Day gift for Ronnie.
That's a great idea. Mother's Day is a Sunday.
A reverse Mother's Day.
Right, so I want
to
wish everybody, every mother out there listening, a very happy, healthy Mother's Day.
Yeah. Thank you for all you do, Dr. Lange. The video, just so you know, Dan is contacting me through here. It's not working. It's not us. It's them, the Ustream people. So what we'll do is we'll make this a YouTube video as a slideshow. So it'll be there. It's just that you'll be stills.
That's okay. I'm sure it'll still look good.
It'll still look good. I like that. All right, we'll take a little break. Thank you, Dr. Lange, and we will be right back.